So in this video, we're gonna be learning some stuff, not everything, but some stuff, and maybe at the end of the video, you can leave with, "Oh, I didn't know that." That's my goal. Now, we're just gonna be staying in this area. We're gonna be staying in this space. We're not going to see what's in front of us because that doesn't matter. I just want you kind of focusing on the mirrors. Both these. Both these images here represent the mirror. Of course, this one represents the steering wheel, and this is me. Now, what we're going to be doing here, let's go ahead and just give you a sped up version of the whole video, so that way you can actually kind of decide if you want to watch the rest of it or not. Before we do that, do me a favor, click that like button, because when a video gets liked, lots of times it gets more popular, so that will be very appreciated. And cool. All right, let's go ahead and just speed up that video for you. All right, so as you can see, we're not going to learn much from a sped up video, but I'm going to be going over every part of it and kind of showing you what's going on. All right. Okay. Anyway, so let's go ahead and start. We're just going to start driving straight. All right. Now, I love driving straight. Hold on a second. Apparently, we're not driving straight. Sorry, that's a different part of the video. Um, Driving straight, because you always know where you're going to end up when you're driving straight, even in reverse. I'm a big fan of the straight back because you can see where you're going and then you can adjust later. All right, but anyway, so same thing with driving forward. All right, you always know exactly where your trailer is going to end up. That's why I'm always acknowledging when I am driving in a straight line. Okay, cool. So I'm turning to the left, turning to the left, turning to the left, turning to the left, turning to the left. Okay, and now I'm cranking all the way to the right. All right, because I'm just trying to bring my trailer over towards that other trailer. Okay, so I know when I straightened up, I cranked my steering wheel all the way to the right, because you're going to be hearing this a lot from me in this particular video. Straightening up in the shortest distance. The only way you can straighten up in the shortest distance is cranking the steering wheel. All right. Anyway, you'll do the most maneuvering. Anyway, so now I'm just going to drive straight. By me driving straight, all right, is actually bringing the trailer closer to this trailer. Okay, and then of course you got to drive in the other opposite direction, just to get our rear end pointing towards that space again, or where we're going. Now, as you can see, we're not parallel, so I'm going to turn to the right again in the shortest distance, and all the way to the left. Now, I'm sure there's going to be at least one person, if I didn't mention this in the comments, try to do your steering while the truck is moving. But if you're in a narrow space, now I'm going to be demonstrating a lot of steering without moving. Okay, so maybe you can do it, but try in the future to do as little as possible, because you will create little bald spots on the tire. So, you know, there's your disclaimer on that one. All right. So yes, I am doing a lot of. My whole demonstration was you maneuvering the vehicle in a very short distance. Okay, because the less room you have, the more maneuvering you need to do, and sometimes it is best to actually already have the steering wheel cranked in the other direction before you start moving. Okay. Anyway, so now we're definitely dead straight. All right, so now we're just going to do a straight back. And again, remember the balancing act. Now, when you are looking in your mirrors, all right, I'm not dead straight right here. I'm more like 98% straight, because I am kind of close to this trailer. So as you can see, because I see just a little bit more on this side of the trailer versus this side, that means I'm not dead straight. Okay, so just note that. All right, dead straight meaning you're seeing the exact same amount of both sides of the trailer. Okay. All right. So now we are going to move towards the center of the space. Okay. Now, if I crank my steering wheel all the way to the right and leave it there, the back of the trailer will the swing will probably scrape along this trailer. Lots of people have done this. If you look at most trailers, all right, well, I don't know, it's most, nearly most. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say most, more than 51%. There's a bunch of scrape marks along here. This is due to people just turning without caring, or probably from people backing without caring as well. But but there's a certain now. This is the way I like to do it. All right. Yes, I am cranking. I am turning it a lot, but I'm not going to keep it. I'm not going to hold it. All right. I'm going to drive forward. Okay. Now I've lost everything on the left-hand side here. Sorry. Yeah. All right. But now I'm going to straighten up all the way. I'm going to straighten up in the shortest distance. All right. And then I'm going to drive straight. No, I didn't. My rear end did not get any closer, but now it's getting further and further away. All right, the more I'm just driving straight. It's because I'm pointing away from this trailer. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and turn to the left, which is going to get my rear end pointing towards the center of the space. And there you go. And now I'm just going to do a straight back. And no, I'm not dead center, but I'm happy enough. Okay, you never have to be 100%, but in this particular video, this is just what I wanted to do. Okay, now this is sometimes you're going to find yourself in this predicament. The one we're going to come up next. As you can see, we're like an inch away from the rear end. Plus, you know, we're whatever. Let's call it 4 feet. But before we go into that, I kind of want to I want to go over something with you. All right. Now, does it look? There's a lot of people have asked me to make this particular video to where I'm discussing why am I always a few inches when you're backed up to the dock. You go to check to see what it looks like. Your one side is up against the dock, but the other side is a few inches away. And like, why is that happening? Well, let me explain. It's all about depth perception. All right, and like this actually looks like it's parallel, but it's completely not. These two trailers I made sure were actually parallel before I started while I chose this particular space. All right, that way there was no confusion. Yes, this guy is closer to the line on this side. Well, of course, this trailer is actually closer to the line on the other side as well. But anyway, it kind of looks like it's off because most of the time when you're backing in between lines, you want to back in between lines when they're dead center. All right. Now, as you can see, you can totally tell that this is not parallel. All right, you can. But this one looks like it is. It's just because the back needs to be a lot closer than the front. I know that seems very obvious, but when you're looking in the mirrors, it's kind of messed up. You have to look equally in both mirrors. So let me go. I'm just going to go ahead and shoot forward to a certain point. So here's dead center. Now this is a bit of an exaggeration, I suppose, but as you can see, both these images here kind of look the same. Like this point to this point is roughly around the same point from this point to this point. And of course, this point back here and this point here is roughly the same as this one and this one. Now, as you can tell, the distance between here and here is a lot further than here and here. They need to look, this image and this image need to look identical. Well, step reversed, you know, the mirror image, you know what I mean? If it doesn't, then you're not, well, 90 degrees to the dock. All right, I'm sure this was it word adjacent. I'm sorry, but you got to now if there is no trailer, that's fine. The line in the ground. Now, if a lot of times, well, a lot of times when you're backing up into a dock, there's usually like a few inches, maybe 6 inches on both sides of the trailer is what you're using to line up, and but sometimes the line is further away. All right, sometimes you're directly on the line. So now, but if you are running parallel, like if your trailer looks, if it looks like this, if it looks like it's running parallel, it's not. All right, it really isn't. It literally needs to look like this. Okay, it needs to look off. But in order to tell that, you got to look in both sides of the mirror. All right, 9 out of 10 times there will be two lines that you're parking in between, but once in a while there'll only be one. Okay, but so before when you are done backing up, all right, check both mirrors. Make sure they look somewhat similar. Like maybe make sure that like the lines are kind of looking like this instead of this. Okay. Now you can pretty much tell this isn't parallel. Like this distance here is, well, whatever it is, and of course there's a little more here, but it looks parallel. Of course, if you had a drone up in the air and you were looking down, it wouldn't. Anyway, so let's go ahead and go right back where we were. Now, this particular one, we are going to go ahead and center ourselves. All right. We're basically going to go from this point to this point, and I'm going to show you what maneuvers I did to do that. Now, okay, we're going. So I'm just going to drive straight. All right. And next, I'm going to drive to the left. All right. See, I'm doing all my moving my trailer over, just going in a straight line because I was already pointing that direction. So now all I'm trying to do now is get my rear end pointing towards the center and then straighten up in the shortest distance, and voila. All right. Now get my steering wheel point straight, and we're just going to do a straight back. Okay. So you got to always remember like driving in a straight line can be a very handy one because you can actually see in both mirrors. You can see where both tires are. You can see everything. You can see the most when you're driving in a straight line. It's when you start to turn. Now you're starting to lose stuff. So in this video, we're going to be making a crazy turn. All right. As you can probably tell that I'm turning way too close here. All right. I'm like, what are you doing, Dave? Surely you're going to wait. Oh no, that trailer's totally going to hit. All right. Now I want you to take note of the angle. Okay. Now the angle that the truck is at. You know, it's not a crazy. I'm not. My truck isn't like 90 degrees to it or anything. But let's say you make this mistake. Okay. Now there's a way to get out of it without actually going to reverse. First of all, you got to stop, analyze the situation. But seriously, crank that steering wheel all the way to the right. It'll allow you to straighten up in the shortest distance. All right. Now it looks like, how could I possibly get away with, you know, without hitting it? It doesn't actually. It gets closer, yeah. But the straighter you go, the less it's getting close. And then when you stop, you know, yes, it got closer. Maybe it got twice as close, but before I straightened up. But now I'm just going to drive in a straight line. Now, and I want to basically, just to let you know what my goal was, I want to park right next to it within only a couple of inches. Okay. Now, so I'm just going to drive straight, because remember, driving straight, and I'm pointing in the direction of the space that I want to go into, or my goal. All right. And then I'm going to turn all the way to the right. I'm going to turn it all, crank it. Now, how do I know that the swing of the trailer is not going to hit the guy to the left? Well, because I know that I'm pointing this way already. I'm not parallel. I'm not, whoops, I'm not beyond parallel to these lines yet. So my trailer is still pointing to the right. Okay, it's not till I get past parallel that I'm going to worry about that. All right. Now, if I kept going in this particular where I'm turning hard to the right, yes, this trailer would hit. But I'm not. I'm worrying. Oh my God! I keep pausing it for you guys. I'm so sorry. So I'm not going to worry about it until my trailer gets to parallel with the lines. Anyway, so hard left to straighten up in the shortest distance. All right, we're going to keep going. There we go. All right, so I'm going to finish off at an angle. Now, the reason I finished off at an angle because I'm not parallel. I can tell I'm not parallel because I'm not actually, I can't see the side of this trailer here. Okay, and so I'm going to maintain. I'm going to leave the angle right there, and it's going to actually. I'm going to start jackknifing immediately, and always watching the side of the trailer that you see most of. Okay, now this particular part, all right. So remember, we're always acknowledging this is a straight line. There we go. That's where I'm perfectly straight. This is not so much. This is just me seeing a sliver. Now I know that I'm actually turning here because if I see more on this side, that means I'm turning to the right, and I can see all the way past. So that means I know that I'm missing. Now I know I told you that you should always look in the side of the trailer you see most of. Well, I can see that there's nothing over here that I'm going to hit, but now I really need to pay attention to the bottom part of the trailer, this particular part right down here. Okay, because once I start to lose this, all right, it starts getting scary. So hard right to straighten up in the shortest distance. Okay, now there is one more maneuver I want to go over. Okay, I want to maneuver into the center again. I want to, but I can't crank the steering wheel all the way to the right, because if I do, I did it before. This is the second time we're going to be doing this today. But if I kept it cranked, the swing of the trailer will hit this guy over here, and and you probably wouldn't even know that you were hitting it. All right. Now this time we're just going to drive straight. All right, and we're going to point our rear end towards the space in a second. All right, we're just going to drive straight, and then we're going to turn to the left again. By turning to the left, we're going to point our trailer towards the space. Okay, now I'm going nice and slowly. You got to wait till at least the axles are at the front of the other trailer because we're so close. Now we could turn a lot sooner if we were further away from it. But as you can see, now we're going to, yeah, see, now we're pointing towards exactly where we want to go. I would prefer if I was pointing a little bit more to the right, but this is okay. We're going to do a dead straight back, and then I'm going to crank the steering wheel all the way to the right, and then all the way to the left again to correct myself. So all the way to the right, all the way to the left to shorten up in the shortest distance, and straight. Let's go over it. I'm basically just so you can kind of see what's going on there. Like basically, it kind of looks like the actual trailer that we're looking directly at it, but turn to the right, because the front of the trailer maneuvers a lot more than the back. All right. There we go. One more time. Turn to the right, all the way to the left, or as much as you want. Anyway, okay, that's that video. Again, don't forget to like and share and all that good stuff. Hope you learned something. All right, I'll be making a lot more videos. I'm in the mood for more video making. Okay, cool. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.